Hello Gemini, Sun, Rising, and Venus, and welcome to your reading. So Gemini, today we're going to go over your energy as well as your person's energy. So with all that being said, Gemini, let's get started. How does Gemini currently view this relationship? Let's see, Gemini. So we do have the High Priestess, we do have the Six of Cups, and then we also have the Five of Cups out here. Okay. Gemini, in regards to how you're currently viewing this relationship, there's an overall energy of you essentially feeling like you have to let somebody go. And it's somebody who has been a part of your life for, quite some time now. I am definitely getting that. But there's just this overwhelming feeling of you essentially feeling like you just have to essentially let this person go. With the Five of Cups coming out here, I feel like you experience a lot of like disappointments within your relationship with this person. So maybe this person doesn't really follow through on their commitments to you, or their promises. That's definitely a possibility. But I just kind of feel like you're sick and tired of getting hurt and disappointed in this connection. And even though you've been getting, hurt and disappointed within your relationship with this person, I feel like you still kind of like hung in there, you know what I mean? In hopes that eventually things will get better, in hopes that eventually things will change. But it kind of looks like you're not really seeing anything get better and or changing here between you and this person, which is causing you to feel on an intuitive level like it's time to let this person go. You don't want to let this person go. You really, really don't. But a lot of you feel like at this point in time, if you don't want to continue to suffer and experience disappointment after disappointment, you feel like you kind of have to. Okay. How does this person currently view this relationship with Gemini? Okay, so we have the Ten of Swords, we have the Ten of Cups, and then we also have the Emperor out here. Okay. You guys find yourselves in the exact same boat, believe it or not. Yeah, believe it or not. With the Ten of Cups coming out here, you are somebody who does mean a lot to this person. You are somebody who's very important, to this person. Like they would want nothing more for this dynamic here between the two of you to, work out, because you are the person that they see happily ever after with. However, with the Ten of Swords coming out here, that's kind of telling me that they've personally been through like their own things within this dynamic that they share with you that, does kind of cause them to, feel like, okay, like things are just never going to change around here. Things are just never going to get better around here, which causes them to essentially feel like they should just kind of give up and walk away. But here's the thing. When it comes down to an emperor, okay, an emperor is somebody who doesn't really know how to give up on the things that they essentially want in this life. And in this case, you are what this person essentially wants, because they look at you like you're their Ten of Cups, like you're the one that completes them. You're the one that, they see themselves having this happily ever after with. And despite the fact that they've been through their own personal things within their relationship with you, to the point where it does cause them to kind of feel a little defeated. It does cause them to feel like, okay, I guess things are just never going to change around here. I think, I guess things are just never going to get better around here. And it does cause them to want to throw their hands up and give up. It just kind of looks like they never have. It just kind of looks like they never have given up on you and the life that they essentially want with you, because they're an emperor. An emperor is somebody who, when they see something that they want, they're not going to stop until they essentially get it. And in this case, what they want is a happily ever after with you. And they're not going to stop, until they get this happily ever after with you, is basically what I'm gathering. How does Gemini currently feel? Okay. So we have the Three of Swords. We have the Ace of Wands. And then, this is sad. I just feel like you just don't want to suffer anymore. You just don't want to suffer anymore. And your history with this person has shown you on like, several different occasions that they're not going to stop, disappointing you. They're not going to stop, hurting you. And you just kind of feel like that's just something that you just need to kind of accept already. And do what you have to do in this particular situation to remove yourself from the situation. Because you just don't see this person. Yeah, you just don't see this person changing, Gemini. And this is you just kind of going based off of your history with this person. And like I said, I feel like you've been sitting around waiting for this person to change, waiting for things to essentially get better. And you just don't see things changing, and you just don't see things getting better. And I do see you definitely accepting that. harsh truth, but I also see you accepting the fact that you don't want to continue to sit here and suffer because you don't feel like you deserve all of this. Okay. How does this person currently feel? Okay. So we do have the king. Listen, this person may not be perfect because it doesn't appear to me that they are. Then again, nobody in this life is. This person may not be perfect, but if it's one thing that I will say is that this person's definitely crazy about you. I mean, King of Wands to the King of Cups. I mean, this is somebody who is very, very like crazy about you and madly in love with you. Like this person literally would do anything, right? To basically keep you in their life and make this dynamic between the two of you work because that's what they want. So they may not be perfect. This person might make their, mistakes here and there and poor decisions here and there. But if it's one thing that I will say is that this person is definitely crazy about you and definitely in love with you and definitely determined to make this dynamic between the two of you work. Okay, what actions? Okay. So we have the King of Swords. We have the I think that's I think that's the thing. That's the thing that I think that this person that you're currently dealing with just simply doesn't understand, and that's really not your fault, Gemini, but their actions and their behavior cause you to feel like they don't love you. It causes you to feel like they don't care about you. I don't feel like these are their intentions, though. I don't feel like these are their intentions. Like, I don't feel like this person does X, Y, and Z, to like intentionally hurt you or cause you to think, believe, and feel like they don't love you. That's the thing, is that I'm not entirely sure what it is that this person is doing on their behalf, but whatever it is that they are doing on their behalf, it's not with the intentions of, let me go do this because I know it's going to hurt Gemini. Let me go do that because it's going to cause Gemini to feel like I don't really love them or care about them. They don't do it with those like intentions is basically what I'm gathering. But I think that that's something that this person needs to understand, is that even though they don't do these things with the intentions of trying to essentially hurt you or cause you to think and believe that they don't love you, their actions and their behavior causes you to essentially feel that way. And that's something that this person needs to essentially realize, but I think that that's kind of where this person's kind of going wrong in this particular situation, because even though, they view them doing X, Y, and Z, as something that I guess in their head is not wrong. Because there's something that this person does that in their head they view as like something that's normal, something that, they look at it as something that's like normal, like everybody does this, you know what I mean? Like, I'm that's kind of what I'm getting, but again, I'm not entirely sure what this person's like referring to or talking about, but there's something that they do that bothers you, that upsets you, that rubs you the wrong way, that causes you to feel like they don't love you, that causes you to feel like they don't care about you, that causes you to essentially feel like, like they don't want you. I'm also essentially getting that, but in their head, it doesn't mean any of those things. Like when they do X, Y, and Z, it's not stemming from a place of them not wanting you. Everybody does this. Like I keep getting that everybody does this, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean that I don't want you, Gemini. Everybody does this, like I don't know exactly what this person's referring to, though. That's my thing. Like I just think that this person is just kind of failing to essentially realize that even though I guess everybody does this, whatever it is that they're referring to here, doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't affect you the way that it affects you. Just because everybody does whatever this thing is, it doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't affect you the way that it affects you, because it does affect you the way that it affects you. So even though they might view what they do as something that's perfectly normal, everybody does this, it still hurts you and affects you nonetheless. And that's something that this person needs to kind of take into consideration. But I feel like they tend to like justify whatever they do with the whole like, but everybody does this and this is normal, and you know, things like that is kind of what I'm gathering. Things like that is kind of what I'm gathering. Again, I'm not entirely sure what they're referring to though. Okay, so we do have the Strength card, we have the Page of Swords, and then we also have, yeah, they don't understand. They don't, like, I feel like you try to explain to this person that by them doing this, that, and the third, it makes you feel like X, Y, and Z. But in their head, they're just like, I don't get it. Like, why would you feel that way? Why would you think that? Like, that just doesn't even make any sense. Like, I guess moral of the story is that even though this person doesn't understand why you're so like affected by their actions and their behavior, and why it hurts you the way that it hurts you and bothers you the way that it bothers you, they just need to accept the fact that it does. They don't have to understand, you know what I mean? Why their actions and their behavior hurt you and affect you the way that it hurts you and affects you. They don't have to understand. They just need to accept that by them doing whatever it is that they're doing, it hurts you and it bothers you and it affects you, and it causes you to feel like they don't love you. It causes you to feel like they don't care about you. It causes you to feel like they don't even really want you. Like, it causes you to feel all of these negative things that you don't want to feel being in a marriage with someone or a relationship with someone. So they don't have to understand anything. All they have to do is just accept that, okay, when I do this, Gemini feels like this. So let me not do that because I don't want them to think this. I don't want them to feel like this. It's just that simple. But I feel like their whole thing is, well, I just don't understand why you feel that way, Gemini. I mean, it just doesn't make logical sense to me. Everybody does it. And I don't even know what this person is referring to with this whole everybody does it. I don't know what they're referring to with the whole everybody does it. I don't know what they're talking about. Obviously, you would know, I guess, what this person's talking about. But for the life of me, I have no idea what this person is talking about. But I feel like that's kind of where they're going wrong, is that because they just don't understand, you know, therefore, you know, they're kind of looking at you like, you're just overreacting. But you feel the way that you feel, and you're entitled to feel the way that you feel. And them being your partner, they should respect how you feel about certain things. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Because I'm sure that there's certain things that this person may not want you out here doing. You know what I mean? And if you were to turn around and do it and justify and say, well, everybody does this, like, I don't think that they're going to really appreciate that. You know what I mean? I don't. So just how, like, you respect how they feel about certain things, I think that you just want that in return, you know, from them. Nothing more, nothing less. You may not understand why this person doesn't want you out here doing X, Y, and Z, but you turn around and respect how they feel either which way. You see what I mean? But when it comes on to them, it's like, well, because they just don't understand how you feel, in their head, it's just like, you're just overreacting. Everybody does this. Like, they don't have to understand. They just have to accept that their actions and their behavior really do affect you in a very negative way. And, you know, if this person truly does love you, which I do believe that they do, they need to stop trying to understand and just accept the fact that every time I do this, Gemini is going to feel like this. And I don't want them to feel like this. So I'm not going to do this and I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? And you'll start to find yourself no longer feeling the way you've been feeling within your relationship with this person. But if they keep, I guess, looking at this entire situation the way that they've been looking at it, like, well, I don't get it. I don't understand why you even feel that way. You know what I mean? Because everybody does this, and then they keep on doing it. It's like, it's just going to be a recipe for a disaster. You see what I mean? So then there's that. But that is what I have for you. Hopefully the reading helped. Hopefully it resonated. And I will see you guys in your next reading. Bye.